Butch and Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio. And good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
Man, it rained away out there, man.
What's that?
It's raining. It's raining away out there, man. It's just coming down. Will be most of the day. It's about mid-afternoon. And we got State Representative Buddy Deloach on the phone right now. But next couple of days, on Friday and Saturday, you're going to be broadcasting games for the Wayne County High School Yellow Jacket baseball team, and it's going to get cold.
Yeah,
do you think it ought to be
Friday night, 17?
Do you think it ought to be illegal to play baseball in the state of Georgia below freezing temperature?
No, I think they ought to just wait till the month of March to play baseball. That's what I told you, it's too cold in February. That's just
maybe we can talk to Buddy this morning and say, hey, let's introduce legislation that you cannot play baseball in the state of Georgia when the temperatures are below freezing.
I told you they need to flip the seasons. Baseball needs to start
that ain't gonna
in
happen,
September,
Bob.
and football
that ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. All right, take it away, Bob.
We got State Representative Buddy Deloach. It's Wednesdays without Workhauser. I talked with Bill Workhauser, said that works, Buddy. So that I like that theme. Wednesdays without Workhauser. We got State Representative Buddy Deloach. Buddy, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, and I agree with y'all about the baseball. You know, when it's real cold, folks are more likely to have injuries from throwing arms and things like that in that cold weather. So we need to start baseball about mid-March.
Just eliminate GHSA altogether for me, if you can do that. Can you pass a bill like that?
Yep.
We're
working hard up here, and guess what? You think it's going to be cold there?
It's cold up there. Let's talk about what's going on. We had a story today in Georgia lawmakers considering a bill that would get rid of school speed zone cameras. What do you know about that? This law goes all the way back to 2018. What do you know about that?
Say that again.
I said it says we had a story today, Georgia lawmakers considering a bill that would get rid of school speed zone cameras. The bill would roll back a 2018 law that allows speed cameras at school zones to track vehicle speeds, photograph license plates, issue citations. They state that it's pretty much a ripoff. They say the system's flawed and they're writing citations when school's not even in session. So what do you know about that?
That's Bill Washburn's bill, and he's pushed it hard. He's got over 100 signatures of House members. I guess we've had more complaints about those cameras than anything else, and it is primarily because they've been used when school's not in session. And I think the law says they can use them an hour before and an hour after. But if we compromise, I think we'll go to something that says you can only use them when those flashing warning lights are there to warn of the school zone. I also think it's pretty likely that his bill is going to pass to simply do away with them. Now, what happens when we get to the Senate, I don't know. But if you look at the number of tickets that has been issued, it's some tremendous number of tickets, and people are really up in the air about the thing. We'll see what happens with that. I'm co-sponsoring a bill that's moving very rapidly, I think, and it has to do with protecting our shrimping industry. And it simply requires that restaurants that buy and serve this foreign pond-grown shrimp laced with antibiotics and all that, they have to put a note on their menu saying that these are foreign shrimp, and it's got a lot of support. So I think it's going to move. The restaurant industry, of course, is a little nervous about it, but I think eventually they're going to agree that people have a right to know what they're eating.
Yeah, you're just joining us on the phone with the State Representative Buddy Deloach. Buddy, you're getting calls from local pharmacists across the state of Georgia. Again, they want the issue of generic price disparities in the state health plan addressed. They say last session, Senate Bill 198 addressed the issue on a state level, but due to bad fiscal estimates from the DDCH, Governor Kemp vetoed the legislation. Local pharmacists seeking help this session as they continue to fight for fair reimbursements for independent pharmacies. They want transparency and expose unfair practices by PBMS and the harm they've inflicted on independent pharmacies, patients, taxpayers, and employees. In the state, there's over 800 independently owned pharmacies. As many as 42 counties in the state have only one independent-owned pharmacist. currently 6 counties in the state with no pharmacies at all. They state all the tax dollars stay in the state, unlike their competitors. The local pharmacists feel they have been discriminated against by the pharmacy benefit managers operating in our state health benefit plan. Disproportionate reimbursements, they say, in some cases greater than 1,000% different. Georgia independent pharmacies continue to suffer at the hands of the PBMS with low reimbursements and underwater dealings in our state-owned benefit plan. So, have you heard from local pharmacists across the state, and what's going to happen this session?
I have, and two of the most senior members of the Georgia House happen to be pharmacists. The most senior member is Butch from Swainsboro. He chairs the Rules Committee, and he's a pharmacist. And his seatmate is Ron Stevens from over around Pooler. And they think they have something worked out the governor's going to accept, and I expect them. Butch has told me in the last week that they will accomplish something this year that will address those problems. And it is true. We've got to take care of those local pharmacists. I think many of us know that we get an awful lot of advice about medications from pharmacists because they're trained in that pharmacology, and they actually know a lot more about how those medicines work than the medical doctors do. So we need them in our communities.
They say they're not asking for much. Like I said, they're just asking for a level playing field. They say they argued if you pay chains $5 for a particular prescription, the local pharmacy should expect the same $5. So, you really think something will happen this session? I mean, is it being addressed and talked about up there?
I am confident that Butch Parrish is committed to getting that done, and he's certainly in a position to do it. So I think we're going to see that pass both House and Senate this year.
Sounds good. What else is going on? What's on your docket for today? As you mentioned, you're on a lot of committees. What else do we need to know? What's going on?
It is getting busy. When we start a new term, we don't have any carryover legislation, so it takes a few weeks for it to start coming out of the pipeline. You know, once it's introduced and it gets the first and second reader and gets assigned to a committee, it takes a while to get that done. But we're about to have a flood of legislation coming. So the days are going to get long because it's absolutely necessary that you take time to look at every one of those bills that's going to come to the floor of the House, and you need to read them and make sure you know what's in them. It's difficult to do, but it's important because you don't ever know what's in some of those bills unless you happen to be on the committee that hears it.
Yeah,
But the process works, and that's important because they pretty well vet those bills in committee. We got tort reform coming. Whatever that is going to look like.
Yeah, what's going on there? Because like I said, I mentioned to Blake Tillery, we got a flyer in the mail. A lot of people hear that the governor wants everybody to talk to Blake Tillery and get him on board. So is he not on board with the governor's plan, or what are you hearing about the tort reform bill?
I think that those lawyers on judiciary, and there's some folks on there that aren't lawyers, like me, I'm on House Judiciary. We're going to look hard at that bill, and we're going to do what makes sense. But I don't think anybody's going to get pushed beyond that.
Right.
Blake Tillery is a very, very bright young man, and he knows a lot about the law. He's got a great educational background in the law, and he's going. I trust Blake to do what he thinks is right. Everybody's not going to agree with that, but what comes out at the end of the day is not going to make anybody totally happy. But that's how this process works, and I really think that Blake and others, and certainly people like me on House Judiciary, we gonna do what we think is right. And at the end of the day, when you put your head on your pillow, that's what really matters. Nobody else is gonna be there to tuck me in. so I'm gonna stick to my guns, and we gonna fix what we can fix. But I would remind you that there's no evidence at all. In fact, all indications are what's in this bill is not going to lower insurance rates in Georgia. If you're going to buy a $120,000 automobile and drive it down the road at 80 miles an hour, you're going to have to pay your insurance premium.
All right. Once again, on the phone with us, State Representative Buddy Deloach. Important day is crossover day. Still a couple weeks away from that. Is that correct? When's crossover day?
It is. Let's see, what will it be? 10 days from this coming Friday. So we'll see a lot of stuff move between now and then.
Yeah, definitely will. So again, we appreciate you calling.
Buddy,
here on
we got
Wednesday.
a text message in. Somebody wanted to ask you a question. It says, Butch, can you ask Mr. Buddy about the tree bill that Blake Tillery was talking about yesterday here on the world famous Butch and Bob show?
I'm not sure. Exactly.
You're not sure what he was talking about there. Do you remember that, Bob? Blake Tillery talking about a tree bill? I don't remember.
My memory isn't.
There is an appropriation to deal with much of the pine forest that was destroyed by the hurricane.
That's what he was talking about yesterday, yeah.
There's going to be a substantial amount of money, and that accompanying legislation passed the House yesterday, and it's on the way to the Senate. So much of that, those trees are down, they're on the ground, they got to be cleaned up. So much money was lost. So it's just another effort to try to aid those that have lost so much in that hurricane. We try to do that for the farmers, and this is really something to help the tree farmers. That industry is important to Georgia.
Okay, that's what it was about. You know, how the price of wood of the trees have gone down a lot for tree farmers usually get for the wood, because there's so much out there because it's just laying there on the ground. So I guess y'all trying to help them out.
That's right. They can't really get enough for their product that's already on the ground, hardly to pay for cleaning it up.
Right.
Well, Buddy, always good talking to you on Wednesdays. Again, if anybody wants to get a hold of you, ask you a question, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Okay. I've had that phone number available before, but the simplest thing, since most folks are in the car and not going to be able to write it down, simply go to Georgia General Assembly, and it lists all of the members there, and it will give you a phone number, an office phone number for me, and my admin assistant will make sure that I return those calls. I make an effort to return every call every single day.
All right.
Sounds good. Buddy, always good to have you here on Wednesdays. Stay safe in Atlanta, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, buddy. All right. State Representative Buddy Deloach here on Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, Wednesdays with State Representative Buddy Deloach, as I'm getting all my Bluetooth cut off here.
It's Wednesdays without work hazard.
It's Wednesdays without work hazard. How's Bill doing? You still see him out on the golf course?
Yeah, he still comes every now and then. I mean, he hasn't come during the session, but like I said, when the session's over, he'll join. He joins our 12:30 group a lot. So
on
it's always
Saturdays,
good to
right?
see him.
Yeah,
it's good to see him.
Wednesdays without work, Kaiser.
Yeah. He said
starring Buddy Deloach.
He said that's fine with him. I said, because he used to be a regular. On
Wednesdays. For many years it was Wednesdays work. We had Mondays with Meeks
Yeah.
and Tuesdays with Tillery and Wednesdays with Work Kaiser, and then they changed the map.
Right,
and
so now we just say Wednesdays without work hazard.
Yeah, starring Buddy Deloach. Wednesdays without work hazard, starring State Representative Buddy Deloach.
But again, we appreciate our representatives calling in. I mean, I get a lot of comments from a lot of people. They enjoy hearing from those people up there in the session, and like I mentioned, they're very accessible. They give out their phone numbers and their email, and again, if anybody wants to get a hold of them, they're easily to reach. So again, not a lot of communities have that, so we're just blessed to have guys like Stephen Meeks and Blake Tillery and Buddy Deloach that are willing to come on and let everybody know what's happening up there under the Capitol. So we do appreciate it.
Okay. All right. We did talk a few moments ago about the weather. I mean, it's raining today and will be for most of the day. And then tomorrow it's going to be, well, once mid-morning passes, it'll be mostly sunny tomorrow and very breezy tomorrow as that front moves on out, brings that cold front coming in. The temperatures tomorrow, 51, but very breezy. But low tomorrow night of 26, and then low on Friday night of 28. But that's here in South Georgia. South Georgia will have a low on Friday night. You'll be up there in Atlanta broadcasting the Wayne County baseball games. We'll have a low of 28 here. What have you heard the low is going to be there in Atlanta?
Well, when we got together Saturday to go to Hazelhurst, one of the ball players told me, he said, "Mr. Morgan, have you seen the weather forecast for the weekend in Atlanta?" I said, "No, really. I don't really check the weather forecast." He said, "Well, the low on Friday night is supposed to be 17 degrees." I said, "Well, that's bad news for you, good news for me, because I'll be in that warm press box up there." So I won't have to worry about that cold weather. They got a beautiful facility. They got nice big press boxes, and I'm sure they'll have them heated up there. So I'm not sure, because Saturday's not the high's only supposed to get up there in the 30s.
Friday. I'm looking at the Atlanta weather right now, because you know how it can change during the course of the day. Friday in Atlanta, high of 43.
Right.
Okay, low of 27.
Oh, it's 10.
Low
10
of
degrees,
27
10 degrees
now.
warmer. That's good.
Yeah. Now, heat wave there. It's going to be 27.
Yeah, well,
Bob.
from 17 to 27. That's good.
Now, I don't know how much wind's going to be there. You know how that can affect.
Right.
And then Saturday, 51, and then 28. And so, we'll see what happens there. They're going to have like a wintry mix-up there. Buddy Loach was talking about that before he went on the air. There's going to have a wintry mix-up there today up there in the Atlanta area. It's supposed to get down to 19 degrees in Atlanta tomorrow night. And then Friday, low in the mid-20s. So and that's cold. Like I said, it's like Buddy said, hey, shouldn't play when it's this cold.
Well, Coach McDonald in the post-game interview last night said that he tells his players it's a mindset. Just think it's 75 degrees and sunny. I said, yeah, you better have that winter coat on that side. And that third base coach, because it's not 75 and sunshine.
Have those warmers on you. You can get those warmers, that you can warm up in a microwave, or they got batteries in them or something like that to help keep you a little warmer. But it is going to be cold up there. Wayne County Yellow Jackets going up to play a 3-game series, right? One Friday and two Saturday?
Friday, 2 Saturday, right. Richmond Hill on Friday and Loganville and Brookwood on Saturday. So, and those are tentative times because there's a lot of games before us. So, like I said, it's scheduled for 6:30, but could be a little bit later, could be on time. Just have to play it by ear on Friday. But it's always a fun trip, good competition. Unfortunately, the weather forecast doesn't look like it's going to be a lot of fun to play baseball.
It's going to be cold. All the rain stuff will be gone. It'll be it'll just be cold. But luckily that in the mid-20s is not until later in the night, so it'll be in the 40s and 30s during the game. So it still may be above freezing before the game ends. So we'll see. But it's just going to be cold, Bob. But luckily, you'll be in a press. They have a nice press box up there.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous facility. They got a nice press
and
box up there.
Which ball field is this up there?
It's Emerson Park.
Emerson Park.
Yeah, there's like 8-9 fields all together. So there's games going on everywhere. So just a lot of tournaments being held. Bobby Cox and them built it years ago. They used to own it, but somebody else owns it now. Bobby Cox doesn't own it anymore. So it's a gorgeous place. Turf fields, just miraculous.
Emerson Park.
It's just a beautiful place.
Which part of Atlanta is that in?
I get lost on it. Come on, Butch. I get lost.
South, east, west, north. Do you have to go through Atlanta, or is it on before you get into Atlanta?
I'm always in the passenger seat. So
you're always you don't Do you go past the big tall buildings, Bob?
I think you do go past Atlanta.
A bit. You go past the big tall buildings.
I'm pretty sure.
So it's the north side of Atlanta. Then
don't hold me to it.
Don't hold you to it.
You're asking me direct. Come on.
I'm not asking you direct. I'm just asking you where in Atlanta it is.
It's unfair. You can Google it. How about that?
I can Google it.
Google it.
All right.
But it's a gorgeous place.
Emerson Park in Atlanta, right?
Right.
Okay. We'll see if we can find it here.
And they got a little country restaurant about 2 blocks away. It's got the best breakfast in town. So I'm definitely going to hit that. It's all about the food.
So it's always about the food, isn't it? Emerson Park in Atlanta, I guess, it's north. It's near Kennesaw.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, okay, it's near Kennesaw.
Right, it is near Kennesaw, right.
Yeah. So it is north. You do go past the big tall buildings,
right.
Bob.
I thought I did.
That's what it looks like right there?
Yeah.
That's it right there. Yeah. Beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Right.
Look at all those parks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you got football fields, 3 of those.
They got volleyball fields. They got
everything there. They have a big, nice thing near Kennesaw.
Nice,
so it's north of Atlanta. All right, so that's where you'll be for Friday night and 2 games on Saturday. Wayne County baseball, they'll be up there. I was really surprised when we got behind on Brunswick yesterday because, Glen Academy I can understand, but, I'd never really thought of Brunswick having a good baseball team, but they must have some talent there this year.
That starting pitcher was awfully tough. He was good. So, like I said, it was good competition. We'll play them again down there. They just got through with, annual baseball at the beach. That's always a fun event. We used to be in that event years ago.
Years ago, didn't we?
Yeah, but now we've changed it. Now we've got that 3-game tournament with Jeff Davis and Colquitt and all that stuff. But years ago, we used to travel down there and baseball at the beach, and that was fun to see all those Atlanta teams come down. I used to love it because they don't get to go down to the beach and spend a day on the beach.
So they do that in February,
right.
Baseball on the beach. So you get there before the sand gnats come out.
Before the sand gnats, right.
Yeah, before the sand gnats come out.
Yeah, which is always good.
Yes. If you think gnats are... Yeah. We were talking... I get my hair cut yesterday, and we're sitting there talking about gnats. We warms up like last week, and then you're outside doing stuff, and suddenly all these gnats get in your eyes. At least they're not biting. That's what we do. They're not biting. But you go down there on the coast, man, those sand gnats, they will eat you alive. I mean, it's bad.
Many days at Edo Miller Park, it's been rough. I always wonder how those kids practice each day with those. I mean, it would drive me crazy.
I don't know.
They're just bad.
I know they are very bad. And one of the people I was talking to there, they found it at one of the places around here, a net type thing that you can put over the top of your baseball cap, and the net comes down there, and it has a little string on the side that you can use to tighten it up so the gnats can't get up under it. And I think I'm gonna go get one of them things because I got 3 dogs and I walk them a lot and play with them outside, and that kind of stuff like that. And last week it was starting to get bad. Now you can give me temperatures of around 70 during the day and then around 50, 48 at night. I could live with that year round. Okay, I really could because if anything to keep the gnats and the mosquitoes away, but soon it'll be in March and those sand gnats and regular gnats will come out there, and so it makes it difficult to enjoy outside. So Wayne County baseball. So Wayne County baseball team did win yesterday over Brunswick, so they're 4-0 now.
4-0, off to a good start. Good competition this weekend, always fun. Like I said, we beat Loganville last year, won 2 out of 3 last year. So
we did, didn't we?
Hopefully we can go up there and win again. Yeah, I tell that story. We beat Loganville. Loganville was a team that beat us for the state championship several years ago. Never had beaten Loganville. We beat Loganville. I'm at the motel, and I'm bouncing off the wall. I'm going crazy. All these kids are looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, did they realize who we just beat? It's like it was just another game for them.
They just because we know the history and they don't.
I was going crazy. I was like, we beat Loganville. I was ecstatic. So. But maybe we can beat them again this year. But that's a good baseball program up there at Loganville. But Brookwood's the team that's supposed to be loaded. I understand they got like 4 or 5 SEC players on their team, so it should be fun. Kind of like the girls' basketball team running up against the #1 player in the country, in Kate Harper for Marist High School. Averages 32 points a game. Got offers from every SEC college in America. Wow. UConn wants her, Iowa wants her, so it'll be interesting where she decides to go to school. But talked to Kayla Hobbs, and Kayla says they ran into her last night, but they said she was very impressive to watch, averaging 32 points a game. So, again, if you want to Google the best player in the country in girls basketball in high school, her name is Kate Harpring, Harpring. You can Google her, check her out, check her stats, and watch some highlights, and she's fun to watch.
Okay. Someone just said that Emerson Park is in Cartersville, but that's not – Cartersville's not – way outside of Atlanta. So you just say it's Emerson Park, right?
Emerson Park.
Emerson Park. Georgia.
Emerson, Georgia.
Emerson, Georgia. Emerson, Georgia is where it's at. Yeah. And it's Lake Point Sports Complex.
Right, that's it.
Lake Point Sports is what it is, but it's Emerson, Georgia is where it's at. Right.
I got a T-shirt that says Lake Point. I got that.
Yeah, that's it, Lake Point.
They got a nice little...
They're in the 404 area code. So
they got a nice little gift shop. Go in there and get some items if you want. So you can do some shopping while you're up there.
Okay.
Apparently, there's the mall close by. A lot of people make this trip just go shopping.
Is that big mall up there? Sure. I haven't been in a mall in eons.
You don't shop till you drop, Butch?
No. Well, there's not. There's so many less malls now than there used to be. So many of them closed up. I mean, Savannah's down to 1 mall now. It's amazing. The old Oglethorpe Mall that's been around since the beginning of time is still open, and the new one, the Savannah Mall, that didn't open up until the 90s sometime, is now closed up. Of course, they still have 3 big stores there, Target and the Sports Shop, Bass Pro Shop, and what's the other one? Target and something else, I think. They still, but I have no idea on that because it's been forever since I've been in some. It was July when we went to that GAB thing, but I just rode right straight to the Hilton and back. I didn't hang around.
I got turned off against shopping when I was a young kid. Like I said, every Saturday, my sister, let's go shopping. I go, why? There's a baseball game coming on.
Yeah. Well, the person that texted in on Cartersville, Emerson, Georgia is southeast of Cartersville. There at Lake Point Sports. So you're really you're near Cartersville, which is north of Atlanta. Cartersville's north of Atlanta, and you've got the near lake out there, and so that's where it's at. You go through Atlanta, and before you get to Cartersville, that's where Emerson, Georgia is, where Lake Point Sports is. So you go all the way through Atlanta and north of Truist Park. Just keep going, and before you get to Cartersville, there it'll be. So you're pretty good north of Atlanta.
Yeah, that's a good little trek, that's for sure.
Yeah,
but it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, from the picture on there, it is nice.
It's a lot of fun. Looking forward to it.
Okay.
Got to get my laundry done, get packed, all that good stuff.
Okay. Staying with family, or are you going to stay with the team?
No, stay with the team.
Stay with the team.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All set up and ready to go. Who did you talk to up there to set up the press box? Who do you?
Coach McDonald has that name.
He sets it all. I didn't know if there was somebody there at the complex you had to talk to or whatever.
I mean, it's a big, spacious press box. I mean, there's plenty of room up there. So.
Okay. Oh, knowing you'll be there 3 hours before the first pitch, and you'll have your place. You'll have the WIFO flagged, right there in that spot. This is Big Dog Country spot.
It's good to get there early.
So, are you driving, or are you riding with somebody?
I haven't got those details.
You haven't got those details yet. Yeah. Okay. Just want to make sure you get there. Okay.
I'll get there. I'll be there. I promise you.
Okay. All right.
But still working out the details on the trip.
Okay. All right.
Got a couple more days before.
Yeah. This is Wednesday. You got 2 more days. I guess you'll leave Friday after we get off the Butch and Bob show.
Yeah, leave Friday early morning. Right.
Yeah, early morning. The game don't start. What time is that first game?
6:30 is what the tended time is. But there's There's a game before us. So like I said, it's just
it's always tentative in these tournaments.
Got to play it by ear. So.
Seems like they give 2 hours for the games, and we know they last 2.5 hours. Right. I mean, every time I sit there at the board and run one, it's about 2.5 hours. I mean, it's amazing to me how a 7-inning high school team, a high school baseball game can last as long as a professional baseball game that's 9 innings, but it just does.
I keep saying that one day they're going to institute that pitch count clock like they did in the major leagues, trying to cut down the time. They need to do that in high school baseball because some of these guys like Hourglass takes them forever to throw the ball.
And then they get then the batter will step out. If the pitcher's taking too long,
exactly.
Or the pitcher will do, or the pitcher will do something because the batter's not doing what he's supposed to do, and they just sit there and play this game back and forth while we're all sitting there. Well, y'all just throw the ball.
I still remember that coach years ago. He had the greatest philosophy: think long, think wrong. Just let's go. Just pitch the ball, hit the ball.
Just pitch the ball, let's go. Let's move. Yeah,
let's go. Move it along.
All right. Anything else in your mind this morning, Bob?
No, like I said, stay dry. It looks
right.
like it's going to be a wet day. Yeah, be careful out there on the road. So
yeah, be careful. All right. World famous Butch and Bob show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup has been brought to you by Heron Aldridge Insurance, by Murphy Builder Supply, GNS Auto Sales, the service department of GNS Auto Sales, and by First Southern Bank.